Okay, in this video, I'm going to run you through an N8N workflow that I have built out, which was designed to see if it could build me out Facebook image ad creatives, specifically for Facebook advertising. Now, over the last 10 years, I've been running clients' ads for paid advertising in Facebook and Google and sometimes in TikTok as well. And one of the bottlenecks that we run into specifically on Facebook is actually having enough stuff to test. So when OpenAI released this new image generation model, the first thing that came to my head was I would like to see if it could build out image creatives specifically for Facebook ads because it's something I deal with on a daily basis. So in this workflow, that's what I'm going to run you through, how I've done that. And this one is kind of different from some of the other ones you've seen on YouTube. I've tried to make it incorporate more of the branding by using images rather than prompting it with more text, but we can refine it over time if we want by adding in more details into the workflow as well. One caveat just before we jump into the workflow and show you how it works is if you're doing this for a product that potentially has got a lot of detail on the packaging or on the product itself, maybe it's got fine text or lots of text on there, you might actually see that it doesn't do too well of job of carrying over all of those details. At least that's something I've noticed is a hit and miss. So that's just one thing to take into consideration if you're planning on doing this for your product. So if you've got like a label with lots of details on there, it might not do as good a job as someone just creating you a graphic. But again, over time, it's only going to get better. So I think if you know this workflow now and you've got it there, eventually there's just going to be a new model that you just change over and it will do an amazing job and it'll probably do it faster than a human at some point as well. So if that's something you're interested in, let's go into the video and I will show you this workflow in action and how it works and how you can use it as well. All right, so here we are in N8N, and this is the workflow that I'm talking about that will generate Facebook ad images. And we've got a few different things that this actually does, and we'll run through that in a second. Just before I show you how it works and show you an example, I want to show like some of the creatives that it's actually done already that I've been testing. So these are saved onto a Google Drive, which is where the workflow will save them to once it's done generating them. And I've just been testing this random brand, which is they're called Nature Made. I don't know if they're big or not, but I've not heard of them before. So inside of the Google folder here, this is some of the things it's done. And like I mentioned, if you've got fine detail on the product, you'll see that it actually does not do too well a job. So although the images do look quite cool, like this one looks great in my opinion, but if you look, it's got some of the details missing over here. Also, like some of this stuff just is rearranged and just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So this is a product that's got a lot of text on there. Also made this one, which I thought was quite simple but cool as well. And I'll show you the prompts for these and how it does it. We've got this one as well, which is a story format. So it can actually do your square or story format, the workflow. And then we've got this one, which is cool. This one is actually really good in my opinion. The only thing is the text on this as well. It's not too great, but it's done this. And I think over time, I reckon in maybe a couple of months, they're going to have something that it can do it perfect. Like this is not good here and stuff. And then we'll get this one as well, which is someone holding the product. And that comes from the prompt, but you can see some of the text is a bit weird on here. And yep, but still not bad in my opinion for what it does. If you had a product that's not got a lot of text on there, this would probably be perfect just to start running and testing. So let's jump back over to the workflow here. So the first thing on this workflow is we start with an on-form submission. And what this will do is take all the information about the product that you want to make the creative for. So if I click into here, I'll show you what we've got. We've got some fields here, just generic information, the title, like creative generator. You can add a description if you want. I've not added one here, as you can see. And then we've got the form elements. So I've got a page screenshot here, which is why this is different from what other people have done. The ones that I've seen on YouTube, what they'll do is they'll just have fields for all of the information that you want to run. What I wanted to do was see if I could just get AI to do everything for me. So take a screenshot of the page, and then when it sees everything on that page, it can then analyze that and create a brief with the information that it gets from the page. So I hope that makes sense. So that's the first one. And the element type is a file because we're given it an image to analyze. We'll show you that in the next step. The next one we've got here is the product image. So that's the image of the actual product that you want to make the creative for. So you've got the page, which has got all of the information on it, and then you've got the product image as well, which will be on the creative. Lastly, on here, we have got image format. So we've got square and we've got story format, which is a couple of the different aspect ratios that we can run on Facebook. It's the main ones, at least. Now, you could take this a lot further and add more fields in that you wanted. You could add in benefit drop downs. You could do so much with this, and I've seen people do that already on YouTube. But again, I wanted AI to try and handle it, which is why I'm just trying to give it a screenshot, and it has worked out not too bad. So that's the form. And let me just show you how we get a screenshot. So I've got this product up here. It's Nature Made again. And this is a probiotic gummy, basically. And I've got this Chrome extension that can take a full screenshot of the whole page. It's called Go Full Page. So just search on Google for Go Full Page Chrome extension, and it will allow you to take a screenshot of the whole page, like it basically says. And you can see that I've got all of the information from this page. So if I zoom in, it's literally the exact same information. And the cool thing about this is we can see the branding colors. So it's like this yellow and black colors. And we can also see all of the product information as well, like benefits, ingredients. And it's also got like other features and things if you've got them on the page as well. And then what you want to do is just download this. I've already downloaded it. And you also want to do the same for your product image. So I've just opened this in a new tab and saved that as well. So over on the flow, let me just click into this and click test step. What we'll do is just choose the screenshot. So choose the file, and I've got the screenshot over here, I believe. Let me just quick look at this one. So this is a different one. That's the first one that I showed you a second ago. I think I might have deleted it actually, so just let me quickly download it again. And what you want to do is make sure on here you download it as a PNG, because it won't accept a PDF. OpenAI won't accept a PDF in the image analyzer, so just download it as a PNG. Jump back over to the form, get that screenshot, which is this one. Click it in, choose the product image, which is this one. I've already got that. And then choose the format. We'll just do square in this case and click submit. Then when we jump back over, let me run you through what this is going to do. So you'll see now that the form is submitted, it will save that. So that's the first part. And then what I'm going to do is just show you how all of these other parts work, and then show you the final output of this one. So it's very, very simple, and you can make everything a lot more detailed if you want. Next, we have got an OpenAI node here, which will analyze the image. You'll see from the form submission, it's already got those two images that we uploaded, which is the page screenshot and the product image. Then we're choosing Operation Analyze Image, and then I'm using the GPT-4o model. You can use another one which is obviously capable. This is the prompt. I'm not going to go into it and do too much detail. All I'm doing is telling it to analyze the image that I've gave it. In this case, I'm giving it the page screenshot here, and I'm telling it to look at the different colors and the branding that's used on that page, and then build me a template. So you see, like, it's got like a landing page design style template that it can follow. So use below as a template, and I've just provided it this so that it follows the same structure. It's just an example. So I will link you to that below somewhere so that you can get this whole prompt if you want that. Then we've got input type, binary files, and then I've got the page underscore screenshot, which is this one selected here. And then what that will do is, once I test that step, it will then put an output. So let me just quickly do this and jump to when this is done. Okay, now that that is done, you will see on the right hand side, we have got the content information on the output side here. And this is in the template style that we gave it when prompting this in the text input. So it's got all of the information that is analyzed and extracted from the product page screenshot that we gave it. Now, the alternative to this is if your product page has not got too much details on it, then you could put more text inputs on the form at the start. So maybe you want to put like text inputs for benefits or features of your product, or specific things that maybe you've not got on your page that you're trying to analyze. So that's just one thing to note there. You can make this a lot more detailed. Now, in the next step, what we want to do is run it through another AI node. And what this one will do is now create us prompts. And this will be the prompts that we're going to provide to the image generation model that OpenAI has. So we can hard code this to any amount of images number that we want it to generate. In this case, I've just got 2. You can see at the bottom here, I've just got generate 2. We could put on the form at the start a quantity number, and then it will just literally pull that number in and it will generate you that amount of creatives as well. Just one thing to note though, if you're going to do this, this can become expensive, generating the images using OpenAI like this. So in this node, what we've got is just the same things: resource text, message model. I'm using GPT-4o again as the model. The prompt is very simple in this case. Let me just fix that. So you are a senior creative strategist who specializes in generate performance-driven ad concepts for any type of brand or service. You follow format instructions exactly and return clear, structured JSON when asked. So I've gave it this. You will be given a brand description. Based on that, generate 2 unique creative briefs. And then this is the format that I've gave it. So if I click on this, you'll see we chose square 1080 by 1080 on the submission form. So that's what it's taken. So in the format of square basically. And this is for Facebook ad images. Each brief must follow the exact JSON object structure. So I've gave it this. The reason I've gave it this is because we're going to loop over these. So you can put in as many quantity as you want. So you could have 10 potentially, and this will spit you out 10 different briefs, and they'll be all different from each other. So that's another cool thing you can test. So it will give you this output, and then return all briefs inside of a JSON array. Do not return them in separate objects or one at a time. Do not wrap the responses, and then the brand design info. So this is from here. All we're doing is pulling that over and putting it in here so that it knows all the brand design info that it's already analyzed. And then it's important that you create the image in the above aspect ratio. So very simple. What I'm going to do is just click test on here so you can see the output. So now that we've got the output here, you'll see it gives us this content, and this is the information that we requested, and it's gave us in an array format. So what we want to do next is actually just parse this information so that we can then use the JSON better. It does look a bit messy at the moment, but this has got everything that we need, and I'll show you that in the next step. So if I click out of this here, the next part is this code module, and I've already tested this step, as you can see. So what this will do is it will just run this JavaScript code, and it will parse the previous content here. So we're just using that part here. So that's the content from here. And then what this will do is just put you all of that information in the output, and it will look a lot better because now I can use this to loop over, and I can run through the array. So each one of these objects here is an item in the array. These brackets mean it's an array here. So you can see it says 2 items, which is what we want. If you put 10 in the last step, you'll have 10 items in here if you wanted 10 prompts, or 20, or however many you want. It will just organize these better, so then we can loop over them. So that's it for this step. And now in the last step, what we're going to do is create this loop over item. So that's the items from the code step here. And what it's going to do is first in the code here, it's going to just extract the image from the form submission at the start. Now we need to do this to get the image into this part of the workflow. We can't just pull the image all the way over from the form submission over to here. N8N just doesn't allow that at the moment, unless there's some way that I don't know. But we need to put this piece of code in here. So you just copy and paste this, and then it will pull the image from the form at the start. You can see this is it, and this is the product image that we're pulling across. So let me just click test on this, and then you'll see that it gets the image from the start. So that's the image. If I click view, you'll see that that is the product image that we put in the form at the start. So that's it for this step. Next is the HTTP request, and this is to OpenAI's image generation model, and the specific endpoint that we're going to is this edits endpoint. The reason that you choose the edits endpoint is because it allows us to upload images to the API, and we can also just go the generation endpoint, which will allow us to just generate different images. So you give it a prompt like the same way you do in ChatGPT. You type in what you want and it will generate you an image. In this case, what we want to do is provide it the image that we want it to use when generating the new images, which again is this one over here. So you can see that it's in the input side this time. Now you can't just pull this into the input, which is why we need the code part here so that we can get that image. So let me run you through this. So the method that we want is post. And then the URL is this one. This is just taken directly from OpenAI's API documents. The authentication, you'll have to add your OpenAI API key. It's very simple to put in. So when you click on this, just follow the steps and then authenticate to OpenAI's to add your API key. I won't show you how to do that because it's very easy. It's literally just drop in your API key and then you use the base URL. So nothing special there. Now, this is where we get into the meat and bones here, and this is important stuff as well. So you want to click send body, and the first part you want is form data. And so you see the parameter type is form data. Then the first one is model. And this again comes directly from OpenAI's documents. So it has to match everything exactly here to work. In the future, if the model changes, we just change this out. And like I mentioned, it's probably going to change and get better at some point. So you will be able to just switch the models out and keep generating your images. And hopefully it gets faster and more accurate over time. The value here is GPT image 1, which is the model that we're using in this case. The next one we want to do is the form data. And this is the prompt that we want to give it. So just make sure the name is prompt. And I'll quickly run you over this as well so you can see it. So what this one does is, I'll scroll to the top. So it says create and then and you see I've just pulled the form submission image type choice again. So this is square that we chose at the start, if you remember. So it says create a square 1080 by 1080 format Facebook ad image using the below provided creative details. And the creative details is from the other step that we generated from OpenAI when we created the prompts. So use the attached product image in the image you create. And then at the bottom part here, what I've done is add creative details, and I've just put these points in. So ad name, and then all I've done is over in the schema, this is from the code block here. So you can see it's pulling the ad name. I've just put in, let me scroll back down. The ad name, I've just literally pulled that over, dropped it in. Objective, I've typed that, pulled it over, dropped it in. For each one of these, I've done the same thing. Text overlay, all the way until it's done. And that's all I've done here. So that's basically the prompt that we're given to OpenAI's image generation endpoint. It's going to take this information and hopefully generate us a good image with that. The last one we can add in here is an N8N binary file. And what this is doing is uploading the image that we want to reference. If I go to the binary section, that's this one again, just so that you know what we're talking about here. It's this product image. So make sure you've got N8N binary file and the parameter type selected. And then we've got this name that we need. This is again from OpenAI's documents. So just make sure it's image and make sure you've got the brackets and everything. And then what you want to do is reference the name. So from ours, it's called image here, right? You might have called it something different, but it's just called image here. So that's what you put in here, and make sure you've got expression selected as well. And then the last one I've put in here, which you can keep, you don't need to put this one in, it's optional, but I've put in the quality here, and I've put it as high because I wanted to generate higher quality images. Now this will cost more. So just note that as well. Look over on OpenAI's documents to see the cost between the different ones, but this will cost more than just keeping it as normal. And that's all you need for this step. So I'm not going to test this just now because it will run through this and it does take a lot of time. So we'll just leave that at the moment. I'll show you the next one. Now, once we have finished this step, we're going to convert the file. So what this will do is it will provide you the file that, or the image that the endpoint here generated. Now, all you want to do is change that data to the new type of file that we want, which is the image file. So we want to use this base 64 input field and put that as data, which is from the previous step. And the operation is move base 64 string to file. So it's going to take what OpenAI gives us and basically change it to an image that we can see and read. When that's done, it's going to then continue to loop through all of them. And then it's going to go to your Google Drive and it's going to post it into your Google Drive, which in this case, I've got it to over here. So I'll just quickly run over that. Again, you need to authenticate to Google. I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video. There's lots of videos on YouTube. Just quickly search one. But if you're authenticated, just choose your file. Make sure you've got Operation Upload. The input is data, and that's from the previous step. So We won't see it here because I've not run that, so I'll maybe show you that again in a second, but we just wanted to say data. And I've got the parent drive, which is my drive, and then I've got the folder selected, which is this one over here. It's just called AI Ad Creatives. You can make it what you want. You can also get it to generate you a folder if you want. You can add that step in. There's lots of different things you can do here, but just for the purpose of this, I wanted to show you this whole way of doing it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to quickly test all of these, and then I'll show you what this spits out at the end. So let's do that now. So that's done now, and you can see that all of the checkpoints are on here. It's done the 2 items in the loop, so it's ran through this twice, and then it's now saved them to Google Drive. So if we jump back over to the Google Drive, let's see what is created. Hopefully it's not too bad. I'll just refresh here. So this is the one over on the right hand side here, or sorry, on the left hand side. There's 2, this one and this one actually. So these are the probiotic ones. This one looks quite good. Your daily ritual, feel the difference. I think that looks not too bad. The text here though has like kind of went a bit crazy. Over here as well, it's went a bit crazy, but not too bad overall in my opinion. And the other one here, very basic, unleash the power of nature, 100% vegetarian. It's gave it this badge as well. But the text on this one is a bit weird. But if you had a product that's not got a lot of text on it, I think this could be very worth your while. And then again, over time, the AI is just going to get better. So it's probably going to correct everything that you see here in the next 6 months to a year, I would say, if even that. Okay, so that's it for this video. I'll try and put the information for all of the different code and stuff in the description somewhere, so you can get this for yourself if it's something that you want to test and use and mess around with. You can make it a lot more detailed and suit it towards what you're actually trying to do as well. So, yep, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.